Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. The first thing I'd like to point out is just because someone's speaking about something that is a very serious issue and other people are afraid to talk about it because it has racial components, doesn't mean that that person is a racist or unfair. Now, with that being said, as we look at this female in this first picture, right, doesn't she seem like she has a kind of black, almost Puerto Rican style to her? I go as far as say she's probably part Ethiopian and part Jewish. And part of her shows a certain Ethiopian part of her. Now, keep in mind, every Ethiopian female who's attractive isn't exactly tripping over each other to kind of date me. But they should be, right? And that's a story for another day. That, in a nutshell, society is brainwashed a certain way, and that includes African nations, that they don't respect a true martial and moral warrior who goes far beyond other guys. Now, when we look at this next picture, we see that kind of Jewish sort of nerd really sticks out. Now, I'm not here to, compare the races or something. This is about helping you understand the New World Order's agenda. When you're biracial, either you transcend and move masterfully and you're fair, or you kind of are confused about who you are and you kind of, fall in line, right? I mean, that's kind of the past for the single race, if such a thing as this person too, right? But when you're distinctly biracial, that's what happens, right? And so this person found their kind of liberal group, what have you. Now think about it. If I was to approach this person, am I approaching somebody who's mulatto like me, just happens to have white skin and is reasonable? Or am I approaching a crypto Jew who would reject me because I haven't conformed to the world? She doesn't respect a moral warrior who's romantic. She just dates sort of nerdy guys. Now again, that's her choice, right? These people in this next picture, right? They seem like pretty friendly guys. That's her choice, right? However, people's choices come with consequences. As a result of that thinking, which is being marketed by a bunch of corporate nerds and their allies, there's like nobody cool anymore left. 20 years ago, they could have bred a ton of attractive women who were worthwhile, who were logical, who were receptive. No offense to anybody. They didn't do that. And now I'm being shunned. I could be dating a 20-year-old right now at 42 who is smart enough to realize that Jesus at 42 is better than someone her age, no matter how you slice it. But they don't exist. Just people trying to get me to fucking settle because they use social norms to get all the attractive women. Now, who among you thinks that isn't romantic injustice? Who among you thinks I shouldn't be upset? If I started yelling bloody murder and how people should, heads should roll and on, I'd be right. But there's a bunch of nerds in mental health who are like, look, man, you can't think that way, whether I yell bloody murder or not. Because they are fucking unfair. They're not fit to lead. They're not fit to rule. They're not guiding their families correctly. It's not right. It's not right. The queen of the Ethiopians would not prefer the oppressor nerd. Never, never, never. So how did this happen? How is it so common? Part of it is witchcraft. Africans are not strangers to it. Part of it is Israeli IDF practices. And they said, we got to reproduce lots of us, and some are Ethiopian. And so we got to make sure we outnumber the Muslim nations one day or whatever. Something to that effect going on. Some kind of breeding program. Zion Nazis, acting like Nazis, breeding program and all. But hey, if I bring it up, I'm the bad guy, right? I assure you, I'm right. If you think I've been too harsh, state your argument. If you're going to accuse me of being too harsh and not put in the comments, and not put an honest and logical argument in the comments, then you're just an oppressor. When society refuses to communicate with me about these important issues, and they want to pretend I'm crazy instead. When crazies talk to people all the time. When there's cool hippies will talk to anybody. But magically no one will talk to me about the most important issues? My goodness, romantic injustice. When God is love and you people all contribute in your own way to romantic injustice, then you can go to hell. And any abominations you bring into this world as well, not necessarily referring to the people in the pictures. We'll say to maintain the rules of YouTube and wherever else I post this.